Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Beyond the Row, where we take Sunday's message further to reach our community, discipling one person at a time. Good morning, evening, and afternoon to all of our listeners. This is episode 182 of our BTR podcast.
182, dog.
Yep. 182, yes. And we got Connor joining us today.
Yeah. He's filling in. Senior Nate's doing a funeral.
Yeah, he is.
Thought maybe Nate lost a few pounds.
Oh, jeez. Ironically, Nate was wearing a gray shirt today. So maybe.
Wow.
But Nate doesn't have hair, so that couldn't be him.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they do make toupees, so you know.
That's more than a toupee. That'd be a wig. A toupee is just additional to some hair.
This is fascinating. Balding. I actually don't know the difference.
Well, as somebody who's balding, I know a little bit about these. as someone who knows a little thing or two.
Abe has spent extensive time looking into this already.
Extensive is a stretch.
Speaking of hair, you just got cleaned up this morning.
I did.
Right?
I did. Yeah. But I didn't want the light reflecting off my forehead, so I put the hat on.
Solid. So there is a difference, people, between a wig and a toupee.
There is.
You know. What about a weave?
Unit. Oh, no. Whoa, hold on.
Isn't that a football move?
No.
I don't know. I think it's what you do to a basket.
Nick. No, just move on from that one.
Isn't what spiders do to their webs?
Okay. Hey.
What?
On the topic of, us discussing these things, we talked about the shoehorn last week.
I do remember the shoehorn.
The treasurer's shoehorn.
The treasurer's shoehorn. And we may have had a picture of this alleged shoehorn leaked by the treasurer.
All right, so if anyone hasn't listened to last week's episode,
yeah, you should listen to that.
Do that, because you'll get caught up on this newly profound inside joke now.
Yes,
because Gavin Basil.
Gavin Basil.
Gavin Basil Weasley.
Oh wow!
No, he is. Jesse, you might have to tell the story again. It was. He told me it was a one-legged shoehorn, sort of an issue that he was having. He said not both legs.
There's double.
And he said he didn't even have the long shoehorn because we were trying to roast him for back problems.
We have a picture of it. If you're not watching, there's a picture of it. So you need to watch.
He informed our A group out of the blue that he was going to get ahead of it because he knew Alicia, his wife, would be making fun of him for it. So he wanted to try to get ahead of it and alert all of us that he was, in fact, using this thing.
That made it worse.
Which made it way worse.
Got it.
Because Ben Hart is in this group.
Yeah, and Ben's ancient. So I automatically expected it to be his. I got out of the shower and I'm like, shoehorn, it's got to be Ben. Then I saw it's Gavin. I'm like, wait a minute.
Incredible.
Young, nimble
Gavin does have more kids than Ben.
He does.
I mean, that ages you.
He does.
So I will say, Gavin, I don't know what you guys have been told, but he says I use it to slip on dress shoes so I don't ruin the backs, which I understand. That's why I use it, so that they don't get ruined. So
that is not the same thing he told me. He said I use it to preserve my back.
or did he mean preserve the backs of the shoes?
That's not the way I took it.
Well, you need to ask for clarity because now we're catching him in something.
Yeah.
Now Gavin might be getting put on blast and publicly rebuked because he's lying.
Is our church treasurer a liar? We need to figure this out.
Guys, this got really serious. Yeah, Gavin, we're not slandering you. We got
to do this Matthew 18, right?
We're openly that's why I'm putting a disclaimer. We're openly questioning. We're not sure, but we are going to do something.
We officially have to take this now to the elders of the church because where one or two are gathered.
The elders of the church are now informed. I'm actually texting Woody right now. Actually, I think one of the elders is texting Woody right now.
I'm actually going back through my messages trying to find. Tater tots. That's not.
Well, I will say Gavin texted me, and so I'll happily read this text.
Well, apparently he's texting everybody.
Yeah, he said, "To whom it may concern, Jesse Blues is a liar."
Oh
no, that's not what it says.
That's peculiar.
That would not surprise me. I wasn't even going to question.
Is this live right now? Is this chat? We got chat live.
So the podcast came out last Wednesday at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. I forget which one it auto posted to. Gavin, out of the blue, sends me a text that says, I use it for both shoes, only for my slip-on dress shoes, not when I tie them. I'm not a maniac. It also is the short ruler size,
Wait, when
not
you
the
tie
long
them,
one.
what would you have a shoehorn for to tie it? I'm confused.
I might not know what a shoehorn is at this point.
Ben, I need you. Ben, I know you're listening. I need you to inform us on this since you're old enough to clearly have experience. We're going to need you to give us some clarity on this because I am using them strictly to be able to slip on shoes that I don't want to retie. That's why I use it because then it just holds the back and you can slip your foot in and boom, you're done.
Yeah.
That's the reason I use it.
Not
Not because I'm ancient. I'm not doing one of those things where you got to hike your leg up on your other leg and then tie your shoe, like where you can't bend over.
Okay, I found the text. The text.
Please.
Just to get out ahead of it, because I'm sure Alicia will roast me for it tonight. Yes, I have started using a shoehorn to put my work shoes on. No, I will not be ashamed of it. It is easier than kneeling down. That says nothing about saving the backs of my shoes.
Wow.
Gavin.
And Alicia said jokes on him. I probably would have forgot.
Man.
Gavin, you need to address this. If you do not, you have 24 hours. If you do not address this within 24 hours to us, we will bring the elders.
24 hours of when this podcast comes out, which would be...
No, actually now, which means he's already cooked.
We're recording on a Monday.
Exactly.
It's not even fair to him.
He has 24 hours.
He won't even see it for 48 hours.
That's too bad. That's the point.
Listen, I'm going to be completely transparent on this podcast right now, and I will get roasted for it.
Oh, no.
My wife cleaned out part of, we have, this weird shelf in our kitchen where we keep, dish towels and some coffee and stuff. And she's cleaning it yesterday, and she's like, what is this? And I go in, and it was a shoehorn that I had bought.
Oh, no.
No.
Because I had bought a pair of work shoes. So they were steel-toed, but they were the low, boots. But they didn't have laces. They were slip-ons,
Right.
But the hole in them was 2 inches. So I could not get my foot in there without pulling the back of them down. And there was no loop on the back for, to put your finger in to pull them on.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get my finger and my my foot in there to keep the back up. So I bought a shoehorn hoping it would help, and it didn't help. And I never used it. But I did buy one hoping it would help get those shoes on. And
How many years ago was this?
Probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
I just don't wear the shoes because
So
I can't
let me
them
get
on.
this straight. You've publicly thrown Gavin under the bus
I have.
when all these years you've had a shoehorn.
I've had one. I haven't used
and
it.
Abe's had a shoehorn.
I admitted to it immediately.
Connor, do you have a shoehorn?
I personally do not. Now, I will go out and say I'm pretty sure Casey Perry has a
Oh,
shoehorn.
no.
Casey Perry.
It's getting real.
This is getting real. All this feet contraband is,
We need
is
to talk
paraphernalia that we need to...
I think the more
Birkenstocks.
How have we not asked Nate about
true.
this?
Oh,
This
he's
dude's
got
got
one
the
for
worst.
sure.
He's got to have one for
He's
his
got
hey
the
dudes.
worst back of everybody I know. There's no way he gets his
Well,
shoes all
he was
down
wearing a
him.
back brace the other day, bro. Yeah.
An inflatable back brace that he's pumping up, dude.
He also had a surgery on the back of his legs, right?
Yeah, Achilles.
Yeah.
He always blames everything on the Achilles.
Oh, he's got one for sure.
I guess the more looming question now is, how many people actually have a shoehorn that's
need a
in the
poll.
closet about
We
it?
need a poll.
I can add a poll to the podcast.
We're
Put
gonna-
a, put a
Let's do
poll
it.
on the
Let's do
podcast.
it.
How many people use a shoehorn on a regular
Come on.
basis?
You know what, guys? This is content.
This is content.
This is
This
what
is-
the people want.
This
Yes,
is
it
this
is.
is what's getting us all the clicks. This is clickbait.
I
Mm-hmm. Except
do
we
think
don't really
actually
run.
there is one more thing that is giving us some clickbait.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
The shoehorn rap. This guy who uses a shoehorn. Shoehorn. Put some respect on the horn. He ain't bending down. He ain't touching the heel. He got that little plastic weapon, and he knows how to use it. Shoehorn every morning. Same routine. Other people put shoes on. He's running a machine.
What?
Yeah.
I love how you paid absolutely no attention to the rhythm of the song.
No. No, I was late coming in, so I just sent it. You sometimes just have to do it.
Holy cow. That was awesome.
There it is.
Well,
Oh, wait a minute.
there you go. Thank you.
There you go. Good grief, you guys.
The title of this podcast will be Shoehorn? ?
It's actually going to be Psalm 100, which is why we're gathered here today.
Oh, Okay,
It's hard to run to the Father without well-fitted shoes.
If you can't get the shoes
You
on.
can't get
if
them
you
on.
can't get the shoes
Yeah.
on, you're coming barefoot. Brother, where are your shoes? Well, I couldn't get them on.
Oh my gosh.
Yep,
dude.
don't have my trusty shoehorn with me. You know?
Mhm.
Forgot the horn.
You know, they didn't even really have shoes back when these psalms were being written as more of a sandal sort of a situation. So maybe shoehorns weren't necessary.
It's like a rough shingle with straps.
Basically.
Oh, yeah, it's like
Mhm.
sandpaper.
I bet they were made of leather. You know, they had animals.
The bottoms?
I don't know what the bottoms were made of.
Straps probably were made of leather.
I bet the whole thing was leather. What else would they use?
Wood?
Yeah,
That's
old
actually a
school
good call.
shoes would.
Wouldn't have wood.
You okay?
No,
It's wood as in WOULD.
would be hard to get a hold of in some of these cultures, though.
I don't know. I mean,
More
Jesus
of a,
rebuked fig trees.
that's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, what we know, at least as far as ancient culture goes, I mean, like I would say they definitely had trees. I mean, not like quite maybe exactly what we know trees now.
Yeah, they don't have giant red oaks, maybe, but they got.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, certain parts were scarce for water, certain parts weren't.
Mhm.
So like it's just like exporting because Roman culture obviously had the ability for transportation of goods.
Yeah.
So
Just
you know they
something- yeah, you just need something to protect the piggies, man.
Yeah.
Nothing elaborate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and to be honest, you could argue that Roman culture really did make way for a lot of materials and things like that to be accessible, right? You know, the roadways and pioneering.
I bet there was a
Mhm.
time where there were some souls that were probably made out of metal.
Man.
Maybe like bronze.
Maybe. Yeah.
When was the Bronze Age? That's like
When?
1200s, right? Bronze Age. That's like way past Jesus, right?
I don't know. Bronze Age, oh yeah, it was way past Jesus. I know that, but like, I don't know the exact years. Sorry, not
Actually, this is
was it earlier?
3000 to 1200 BC.
Well,
BCE,
we're
before
cooked.
Common Era. So
We're cooked.
I know nothing about
Before
history.
Common Era. That's baloney. That's not what that stands for. Don't say BCE. Before Common Era. Get that crap out of here. It's before Christ.
Amen.
What's the E stand for?
I just said before Common Era.
So you're saying BC, not BCE.
Yeah.
yes,
Got
BCE is a politically correct, not Jesus way of saying.
which is
BC.
almost ironic, like ridiculous, because it's like
We need one of those because
there's still that point where the eras shift.
Yeah.
What is that point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you
the
can
point-
name it whatever you want.
The
but
point
that
that
point's still
Chinese
there.
culture literally pointed to and literally wrote down in their historicity that a man hung on a tree and the clouds darkened, and they record this in China the night that happens. How they know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know. Maybe
Supposed-
this thing called God.
This must be the changing of an era.
Ooh, so this says
Crazy.
during the time of the first century, ordinary people and Roman soldiers wore distinct types of leather footwear suited for long, dusty terrain.
There you go.
You would think leather would wear out so fast though on the bottom with like the dust and the sand and the rocks.
This says a thick, hardened leather sole. So
It's like-
somehow they figured out how to harden
It's
leather.
like a rhino or a hippo.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Wow.
I don't know.
Because the roads were commonly unpaved and mostly dirt and stone, basic sandals would need repair.
Get some of them hippo Jordans.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Hippo Jordans. Here we are.
Anyway, wow.
We tried to get back on track, and then
Psalm
we just,
100.
We kind of yeeted hard right.
Yeah, we did.
Yeet.
All right, well, let's go.
Yeah.
Psalm 100.
Where do we
do it.
actually run? Where do we
Yeah.
actually run? That was the tension, right? That we brought up here in Ontario, and is kind of this idea is like, is God where we go when things get tough, and on what level on that list?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is
Yeah.
God number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4? I'd say, man, if you're by 4th string, you're not even a thought.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, and the implication of this conversation was not that God should be any other placement other than number 1, but we were asking it in such a way, or Nate was asking in such a way that if we all know that Christ is supposed to be who we run to,
mm-hmm.
you know, and if we're not, why aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and I think it was kind of a call of reflecting too on what is the number one thing, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe he is second or third, and what is it that's causing that, or what patterns,
Yeah.
in your life are causing you to potentially run to those things that are more comfortable or seem, I don't know, maybe just more. I think like sometimes more tangible, because I think we
Mhm.
run to things
Yeah.
that feel more tangible a lot of times.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and I think that, like, we talked about that a little bit last week, but like I think we run to those things because I don't know, they're more temporary, but they feel more instant.
Yeah, instant gratification. We run
Yeah.
to instant gratification instead of what's actually going to sustain us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think too that people listen to a lot of culture, especially in the mental health side of the world, or I don't want to say side of the world, side of thinking, because for folks that are relying on medication to help soothe maybe their anxiety attacks, or if they struggle with depression or things like that, society almost jokingly says, think about movies that you've watched or whatever. It's like, oh, you're stressing out, you need to take a pill, right? And in fact, we even tell people is just a phrase, take a chill pill, right? And it's just like we've almost numbed ourselves to the idea that everything can be fixed with a pill.
Yeah.
Whether it can or can't be,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying, but we go to it.
We also at times will over clinicalize something that actually is a spiritual
I think that happens
a
lot,
spiritual concern.
personally.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of times, I think we're very apt in our culture to write things off. Now, I think there's a balance here. I think you could go too far on the spiritualizing end as well, but I think at times spiritual realities get pushed off. Get pushed off to the side. Like I think that those are sometimes deeper than we like to admit, especially our culture, because to admit that, then you're admitting that there are spiritual forces, that there's a God out there, things like that. So some people just won't get to that point because they can't, right? Just because if they do, then
I think there's a case for like our physical well-being. Even like people think they're depressed, but they're sluggish. They don't do anything. They're maybe they're addicted to pornography, and they're just living this life. And they're like, man, I'm so depressed. This life's just so depressing. It's like, well, get off the couch.
When's this the last time you've seen some sunshine,
Get the
dude?
junk out of your life that's keeping you chained up. Get in your Bible once in a while. Go outside and walk. But there's some things that medication's not going to fix.
Yeah,
you can take all the pills you want in
Yeah.
the world. If you're just sitting on the couch slugging around all day, you're not going to feel any better.
it's true. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think that is the point. I think it's just it is kind of that instant gratification. It's sometimes just the easier course, but most things that are worthwhile aren't easy.
Yep.
Right? Like most things that actually are worth something don't come instantly.
Or we'd already have them.
Right. And so I think it's realizing that your relationship with God, and the other thing too is that your relationship with God is not supposed to be self-seeking for you. And I think sometimes we don't want to go to God sometimes because I think it's like we want what we want. And it's like, well, if God isn't going to give it to me, I'm going to find it somewhere. If I'm not going to be entertained, I'm going to find it somewhere. If I'm not going to be appeased, whatever, and it's like we know the thing that we want, and a lot of times God doesn't give us what we want. He gives us what we need, and a lot of times I don't think we're big fans of that always.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I think that leads to the question: what is your typical go-to when you are overwhelmed? What do we normally go to when we're so overwhelmed? What would it look like to make God first instead of a first stop instead of a last resort? If we actually took all the things out of our life that were hindering us from that relationship with Him, what would that actually look like? I texted Nate last night because that message hit me different than he has a lot of really good messages. But there's something about that one that hit in a different way for me, because in the season of life that I'm in, and my wife is in, and a lot of people our age are in, we're chasing kids, we're getting kids to school and from school, we're working jobs, we're doing ministry, we're doing leading a group, we're doing all these things. And I texted him last night. I'm like, man, it hit me because I so often feel like, when do I have time? Like, I don't feel like I have enough time in a day to do all the things that I need to get done, let alone take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and just be alone with the Father and just be in his presence. How can I slot an hour out of my day to do nothing when I know all these things need done, and I feel like I'm not getting them done now? And it was a good reminder yesterday of Jesus was busy too, and yet he always made the time to withdraw and spend time with the Father.
Mm-hmm. I think something that you see in the Gospels that was very easy to overlook, and I was one of those people that overlooked it for sure, was anytime you see, we were texting about this too, anytime that you see Jesus, he always made that time for people. And, you can call it practicing the presence, or you can just call it being present, or whatever that you want to call it. But Christ didn't have a sense of urgency, at least not one that I see in the Gospels, like the sense of urgency that we put on our lives today. I feel like everything that we do is hustle, 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 just get to the next thing,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's good or bad for us. I just feel like we're always in a state of hurry. And that constant state of hurry, makes us in a constant state of exhaustion. And I don't see that same hurry when I read the Gospels. Now, obviously, I wasn't there. There's more to Christ's life than what was recorded. So much more. But in the Gospels, the most important parts of Christ's aspects that God wanted to put in his holy word, what we see, I don't see a lot of Christ being rash and hasty and just in a state of hurry. I mean, even when he flipped tables, right? He still withdrew and he made that whip. You know what I mean? It's not like he just grabbed a tree branch and started freaking out on people. Like, he had to fashion this whip. Every single braid that went into it, every single time, stretching it all. It's like even that would have taken him time to do so that he could go into the marketplace and start whipping,
Yep.
right? And it's like, if that's the moment that sticks out to folks, that Christ seemed angry and seemed like a different side of Christ, even in that moment, it was still calculated. And that just blows my mind, because I feel like I have to operate a lot of times, a lot of days, in a sense where I don't have time to calculate. I wish I did, because that's where my brain wants to go to, and I want to take my time with everything. But when I do take my time with things, I feel like everyone around me is in a rush, and so that puts me in a rush, right? I don't know. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah, I think there's a couple fold on that. I think it brings out some things. I think, I think there's two things. I'm not sure I 100% have a problem with urgency. I think hurry is bad, but I think urgency is good. I think Jesus was urgent, but there was preparation in the urgency. So a lot of times things feel like hurry when there isn't preparation. And I think the reason Jesus wasn't hurried is because we see him say in situations all the time, this isn't my time yet. It's not my time to be revealed. Keep that between you and me. Things like that. And I think the reason isn't because there isn't an urgency. I just think that there is a plan and there's preparation. And so hurry definitely is bad. I think hurry is just like jumping from one to another and being like, I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants. I'm kind of just doing this thing, kind of just at the hip. I'm shooting at the hip. I'm going crazy. I'm driving myself insane. I don't think we see that in Jesus, because I think there was an intentional connectivity. There was preparation. Even the fact that Jesus didn't begin earthly ministry, at least recorded ministry, the way that we understand, until he was 30.
Mm-hmm.
There was preparation. So I think that there was an urgency. I think it just looked a little different. A lot of times I think we think like, if we're not just moving, going crazy, we're running around like Road Runner, then we're not urgent. But I do think that urgency is good, but I do think that if it doesn't have good connectivity with God, and we're not leaning on him and we're not being led by him, I think that it does leave us to a place of hurry. And I think that is negative. But I do think urgency, I mean, I do think urgency leads us to movement, but it's just, I think it is prepared. I don't think it's not in crisis. And things I think are in crisis is because it lacks preparation.
Yeah.
Like I feel most stressed when I didn't give something the space that it should get. Like it's a great example. Yesterday, I did not, and this is stupid. I run this play more than I ought to, but I did not give myself enough time to run through the message for that night in the afternoon. And I ended up cutting into time where our high school students were setting up, and I didn't support them as good as I probably ought to have. And I ran into that time, and I was running through the message in that time. And why? Because I didn't set myself up for that. So I felt hurried, and I was hurried, and I was stressed. And and so I'm actually going into the night pressed because I didn't create enough space. I wanted to pray. I didn't even get a chance to pray over the room last night. Like I was angry. So then I started being like, well, I didn't get this done. I didn't get to do this. I didn't do this. And then I'm just angry and I'm frustrated, right? But it's not bad to want to do those things, but there was no preparation to get there. So then I was just hurried. And then I missed out on things because there wasn't good preparation, and I paid the price for it. So I think that that's kind of that window of hurry, and it is an interesting balance that I think we have to navigate as people. And I think that it's interesting to me. I think that that's kind of the twofold piece of that I see, is that I think hurry absolutely is negative. We weren't built for that.
I don't want to get in the weeds too much on this, but I think it's so much a reflection of just the culture we live in. I mean, you go to like I visited Houston one time. There's nobody there that drives under 90 anywhere. Like I got in a vehicle with another coworker of mine that works in Houston for the company I work for, and we're pulling out of the plant to go get lunch, and he's like, as fast as he can get to 80 miles an hour, he was getting there, and he's just having a conversation like we are right now with me, and I'm like, you're gonna kill us. He's like, oh no, you have to drive like that here. He said, you'll get killed if you don't. I'm like, how is this the norm? If people were driving like that, imagine just their lives in general, how chaotic it is. And we wonder why we feel in constant hurry all the time, because society has created this hurry that we have to be, you have to do all the time, every day, all day. And then when we do get home and we sit down, we can't just chill because we still have that adrenaline in us. Like I gotta do something. I gotta keep going. I gotta do this.
That's how it was. I took a trip to New York City once, and in like downtown New York City, number one, you can't even drive because everything's, taxi cabs and fares, and you got to know the area. It's just ridiculous. Okay, I would never even want to drive there. I didn't even like driving through Chicago. Like it was. I don't like those high traffic things. But anyway, we did some sightseeing and things like that. But the thing that I remember the most is like, you walk around our town. You say hi to people. You look at them. You do that hiker smile. You know what I'm talking about, when you're like, hi. You at least say hi to people.
Hey, bud.
Just something. But in New York City, it is just boom, shoulder, and nobody has time for anybody, and everybody is going somewhere
because everybody has a place to be in a hurry,
and they're late for it all the time.
They're already late before they even got started,
and it's unbelievable. And it's just like,
I was getting tailed this morning.
Never live like that.
I was getting tailed this morning, and Zarisha was in the car with me. She's like,
"Was it Nate?"
No. She literally said, she's like, "It ain't our fault you're late for work, dude." And this guy was tailing us and whatever, and it's like, I was like, "Yep, didn't plan enough time to get there," and we were just kidding, obviously, but like, it is kind of that that point. I think another thing that I thought about too, and Connor, you got something to add, hop in here too. But
Yeah.
Another thing I thought about was I have had to shift my perspective on what productivity is. Because in my mind, doing a lot of times is productivity. But if I sit and read, I don't feel productive.
I'm right there with you.
If I'm not doing something, it's like I'm doing nothing. Like there'll be times in my office where I'll be like praying and I'm like, dude, should I be doing something else? Like I feel like this is a waste of my time.
Yep.
And not in a waste of my time, meaning like it doesn't matter or have significance, but it's like I should maybe be doing something else that could accomplish something.
Yep.
And I think the Lord is in those moments is like, oh, I got you. So you'd rather just negate this and go do something. Yeah, as if this isn't doing something now. And so I have had to work to flip my mind on what productivity is, on what actually accomplishing something worthwhile is.
Who was it that Nate used yesterday?
Brother Lawrence?
Is he the one that he said prayed like 5 hours a day and then he got less done during the day if he didn't pray as much during the day? Who was that?
I remember the story.
Brother Lawrence was the one with like dishwasher.
The dishwasher. He was telling another story about gosh, what was it? Was it C.S. Lewis or who was it? He said if he prayed like 3 hours a day, he got less done. He was less productive the rest of the day with more time than if he spent like 5 hours in prayer with less time. He could still get more done. I can't remember who it was though, but that ties right in. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about here.
It sounds very, very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. George Mueller. He founded the orphanage in Bristol, England, and cared for those like thousands of children and all that. And he never went out fundraising or even campaigning for resources. So he actually spent every day asking God to provide for the kids' needs, a daily dependence on God instead of a hustle of searching. It was a dependence.
But I feel the same way you do. I mean, Allie and I had this conversation yesterday because I mowed a couple days ago, and we were talking about mowing and weed eating and stuff around the house. And like the first mow of the year, I get really excited about. I'm like, I'm gonna make the yard look good, get the nice stripes in it. And then by like the third mow, I'm like, it's grueling. Like I don't want to do this. And last night she was like, you don't like to mow, do you? And I'm like, I do in the beginning because I think it's getting out in the spring, the fresh air, just being outside's nice. But by the end of summer, it's like, this feels like such a waste of time. Like I'm just going to sit on a mower and do nothing for 2 hours when there's so much other stuff to get done. Obviously, I'm getting something done, but just sitting and not doing anything feels so unproductive. And I think it's the same way, like praying. Like you're just sitting there, essentially not doing anything. We are doing something, obviously, but you're not using your hands and things. And it automatically feels unproductive because that's what we're so used to doing every day.
It's like we try to fill our limited time throughout the day with as much stuff as possible, but a lot of the stuff that we try to fill our time with isn't really like necessary, you know?
Yeah.
So we might leave to go to work in 15 minutes if we live like 13 minutes away, but we don't like leave early enough or whatever because we want to spend more time doing unproductive stuff or stuff that like in the end is going to be unproductive, you know? So like just like on your phone, being on your phone or whatever, you know, and then you try to leave like, okay, I'll leave 15 before I got to clock in, but you live 13 minutes away, you know, you don't give yourself much time. There's not much preparation. So we try to fill our limited time with as much stuff as possible when a lot of stuff that we try to fill our time with isn't really like, we don't need to, you know, the stuff that we do need to fill our time with, like being in the Word, praying and all that, we don't end up doing as much of it because we try to fit in more and more and more, see how much we can get done each and every day.
One of the things I've started doing, and it ties into what you just said, and I'm still working on it. Like I'm trying to do better at it every single week, but I've had my phone alert me on Sundays of my screen time each day, like an average. And it's usually at church. It pops up for some reason. I don't remember if I set it for that time or what, but like
he's
like,
just in service. Oh,
it's like every Sunday, like 10 o'clock, it's like average screen time for the week. But Anybody that sets that on their phone, you cannot tell me we don't have time to be in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had weeks, like busy weeks, where I'm doing a lot for work and doing things for different things. I'll have 5-6 hours a day on average on my phone. And I'm like, what did I get done that I spent a quarter of my day on my phone?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't look back over the week and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I got a lot done in those 6 hours that day.
And I wonder
No
if
way I did.
I wonder if it's in those distractions that we think back on our week and think that it was a really, really busy day because we weren't giving us adequate time to do the things that we had to do. When in reality, you had the same workload you always do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you're squeezing that workload in between those 4 or 5 hours of screen time. So it feels like, oh, I don't have time for anything.
Yeah.
But that's just because we're spending our time doing stupid stuff, basically, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's true. I mean, it really is true. Like there's times where I have even said where I will intentionally not bring my phone to the bathroom. I know that sounds silly.
No, it's not, because I've been
But like seriously, there are times where I just won't. And the reason, or like a couple nights ago, I was like, it was a little later. It was like 8:30. Zarish and I, this summer, we've had a lot of later nights. Like it's just kind of the way that it is. But what I did was we left our phones upstairs and we walked downstairs. We just didn't have them. And it was for a couple hours. And then we like lost track of time. And we were just like talking, doing something. And I was like, dude, it's like 11:30.
dude.
And it's like, and, you know, but like, and we could easily have looked at that and been like, man, it just wasn't productive. No, that was super productive.
Mm-hmm.
That was super important. And what we could have done just alternatively, we could have just had a screen on in the background, just be on our phones or doing something like that. And it's like, I think we just have to redefine what actually stop thinking that being entertained is productive.
Mm.
Entertainment is not productive.
Yeah.
Growth and intentionality, that's productive.
Yeah. One of the best, my wife and I went on a vacation. I call it a vacation. We used to go to hockey a lot before we had kids. We don't get to do it as much anymore, but we'd go like 4 or 5 times a year just for a weekend, like a Friday night, Saturday night, come home Sunday. And we'd get a little cabin down there, super cheap one, $120 a night or whatever, and just get away for a weekend. Right after we got married, we did this a lot. And there was one in particular, we went down there and we had switched phone carriers. One of those deals back in the day before they had eSIMs where they would send you a new card in the mail or whatever, then you switch it out thing. Well, when we got to Hocking on Friday afternoon, they came in the mail at our house. Well, when they got there, they deactivated ours when they saw they were delivered, like the ones in our phone. So when we got to Hocking, we had no phones. Like the second we got into Hocking, it was just like, boom, done. That was the best weekend of our life.
Yeah.
We had more fun that weekend. And looking back on it, like it makes me sad because I'm like, look at what the phones are doing to us. Like
I hate them.
Marriages and stuff. But like we got to the
Too
hotel.
much AI.
We got to the hotel and we didn't have GPS to go anywhere. So we got a map. And Allie's in my truck like, boom. And she's like, we're right here. We need to go here. You need to go. It was so much fun. The only time we had our phones was when we were in the hotel room and we could get on Wi-Fi. But we were in the room other than to go to bed. We were out. We went kayaking. We did hiking. Yeah. It was an absolute blast. And I look back on that. I'm like, man, imagine if we just never had our phones with us. How much fun we could have with each other. And it almost feels like but now it feels like you have to force yourself to do that. If you have access to it, it's like, well, I better take it just in case there's an emergency.
Yeah.
But then when you don't have it, you're not worried about the emergencies.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't have it anyway. So what's it matter if I have it or not?
Yeah.
I feel like we get to live out. I say we get to, but it's actually a curse. But we are living out that temptation of Adam and Eve with the tree of knowledge every single moment of every day. Because I can think of a random thing and I'll be like, man, I wonder how to do that. The first thing I do is I get on a web browser or YouTube and be like, how do I do this?
Google.
How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? And so like,
and you know what's ironic about that? That's a hurry thing again, because we don't want to spend the time to try to finick with something and figure it out. We'd rather, it's going to take me. I'll just look it up. I'll get it done in 5 minutes.
But it's that allure of knowledge of that I can get this right now and I can figure it out. Or have somebody else figure it out for me or see what the best way to do it is 24/7. You know, like we have a thought and then it's in our hand.
Yeah.
And that I don't think that's how God designed us to actually be.
Well, there's no critical thinking anymore. Your phone does it for you. You don't have to think about how to,
We're
do
cyborgs.
do anything.
Dude, we're cyborgs.
What's that mean?
We're cyborgs.
It means we're half machine. Think about it.
Half human, half shoehorn.
Oh no! Imagine getting dressed for church on Sunday morning. Everybody ready, but this man needs a horn. Worship starts at 10. He's walking out at 9, but he spent 7 minutes getting with his footwear aligned. That was so good.
Wow.
We were ready for that.
Good,
we were
man.
ready. Hey, that was way more on time.
Dude, that was not planned whatsoever, but that worked out great.
That was
Holy
way more
cow.
on time than the other one.
Dude,
Let's go. You got
the thing on the horn, getting ready for church, whatever that line was, it was great.
that's so good.
That
That's
was
so
funny.
good.
That
Come
was
on.
fantastic.
Come on.
Oh, mercy.
Oh man. Okay, wow. We're so unserious.
I know.
We were really serious. We had to break it up there a little bit.
I know.
It's good, man. I we kind of hit this a lot, but you know, obviously, hopefully for somebody, but yeah, urgency is good. We should have intentionality, but a lot of times we say we are too busy. We just have bad priorities
Mm-hmm.
and we have bad discipline. Just call it what it is. I will lump myself in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Bad priorities, bad discipline.
You know, there's scripture that it pops up in my head when I think about this, and it's the 12 virgins. It's like there was an urgency because they had to be prepared for the bridegroom to come into the town,
For
right?
sure.
But there was also priorities where half of them did not get the oil for their lamp because they
Right.
were
Just
too
wasted their
busy
time.
doing everything else.
Yeah.
And it's like, so urgency is good. To your point, urgency is good. Like,
Yeah.
we should have urgency. But what are you prioritizing in that urgency that's preparing you?
Yeah.
Or are you just being hurried
Yeah.
to do everything?
And I think the reason you're hurried is because you're urgent about all these other things that really probably don't matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're really hurried because you're like, I gotta go here, I gotta go here, I gotta here, I gotta here. As the wise Obi-Wan Kenobi once said to
Oh.
Anakin, you have done that yourself. So I just want to say that's a reality. We do it to ourselves, and then we sit here and we blame God and we do all these things. It's like, dude, just look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the important part. And I think a big piece of this too is we need people to also help us look in the mirror. That's why sometimes Sunday mornings are so good, because you can be sitting in there and your pastor, it's like he just like read your prayers this week.
Yeah.
Or it's like God's just like, hey, I just want to send you over really quick. This is what people are going through, and it's like that's really important because then your pastor can teach you and help reframe, and this is what community does too. When people actually get the real version of you, not the front version of you. You know, like, I'm fronting, making it look like I am this way. But when people get the real version of you, they can call you out when you're being a Martha and you should be being a Mary.
Yeah.
What you know from the message, like Martha and Mary in this situation. Martha being like, "Hey, come on, Mary, get the program, help me get this thing done. We're hosting." And Mary's like, "Man, I'm just sitting here listening to Jesus, man." And it's like sometimes we need to know.
That's one of the beautiful, like, I don't want to make this a thing about it, but like that's one of the beautiful things about A groups. Like, you grow so close to people,
Yeah.
that they know those things. Like, there's men in my life that are in my A group and outside of my A group that know I struggle with hurry and time management, and you know, sometimes I often put my family on the back burner because I'm so busy doing other things, and I've had them call me out like, "Hey, have you actually spent time with your wife and kids this week?" And I certainly can't get offended by that, because that's what
Yeah.
they should be doing, is calling me out, because I
Yeah.
need that accountability. And it's like, man, I haven't. I've been too busy working on all these things. And it's, I mean, we need those people in our lives. And to your point, you know, how often does our pastor say, or whoever's preaching, say something, which I think in my eyes just goes to show they're in prayer, because they're probably asking God, what do the people in this church need to hear today?
Mm-hmm.
And something was put on their heart that needed to be said,
Mm-hmm.
and people get affected by it.
And there's a vulnerability too, because they're sometimes saying things because it's what's true for them
Yeah.
and what they're walking through too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't want to call Nate out, but that's what he said when I texted him. He's like, I was preaching to myself as much as I was everybody
Yeah.
else. Because we all deal with it.
Yes,
I mean,
it's
we
just
all
true.
struggle with these things.
100%. You're trying to be taught as you're teaching, you are being taught.
Yeah.
And that's the reality is like, and I think sometimes though, you do need, I think to the point, a Mary Martha relationship, because sometimes you can hear it. You can come on a Sunday morning and hear it, but then you need someone to reinforce it.
Yeah.
Like Nate, sometimes people will be like, oh, I really like really good word. And then they go home and nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Why? They had no one reinforcing it. They had no one holding them accountable. You know what some of the best friends are? When they hear the pastor saying something and they're looking over at you, side-eyeing you, those are the best friends. You want to know why? It's because you're going to be like, hey, you hear that this day? You hear that? But yeah. Looks like I'm not crazy, right? And they're holding you accountable. They're walking through it with you.
Listen, man, I know we razz Ben a lot on here, but I'll give that dude credit. Like, because we do groups on Monday nights, which is tonight. I guarantee he'll bring that up tonight in group. Because he'll be like, look, maybe he won't, but I would venture to say, knowing Ben like I do, he's probably going to say something along the lines of, look, I reflected on that message, and I'm realizing I'm not running to the Father like I should be and spending time with him. How are you guys doing with it? And he will ask the question to the whole group.
Yeah.
He's really, really good about that because he recognizes the stuff in his life that he deals with, and then he brings it to the people.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, how are you guys doing with it? Maybe we should do a little challenge this week, like spend 10 minutes in your Bible every morning or in the evenings or something. And yeah, we got to have those people in our lives.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's so easy. As soon as you walk out the doors, be like, man, I got Sunday full of stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, did you not listen to anything that was just said in there?
100%. Yeah, it's just like the journal stays closed.
Yeah.
Our notebook stays closed. I tell our students that all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I say that. Like, I say it literally. I mean, it's probably a coined phrase by this point of like, you can, if it just stays in the notebook, then it's doing nothing. Like, it can't just be there. It's just words on a paper if that's what it is.
Yep.
And so we got to say, God, what does it look like for us to change this? Like, I'm not even going to lie. I don't have my note journal with me now, but something that I wrote, I didn't write a ton of notes on Sunday's message because I did more thinking than I did writing. But I wrote something, and I think I said something along the lines of, it was like something like, how you act when you're stressed. And that is a direct reflection of the fact that you are not running to the Lord when these things are happening. Like, it was something along the lines of that. And then I drew an arrow, and I said, is this actually going to change? And I circled it. And I was just sitting there thinking that. And it's like, because my concern is always like, if I'm moved and nothing changes, then that's not fruitful. So it's like, what is the movement that comes? And I think for me, the movement is you just walking away, is saying, okay, I'm now seeing, or I'm having almost like the light shown on this, and now I have an opportunity. I have a decision to make.
This reminds me of, did you guys see that Theo Vaughn thing?
Which
where it was like a month or two ago where he was talking, like, it was just him on his podcast, and he was talking about like his faith, and he's like, I don't remember how it went, but he's like, I've been going through some stuff, and like, I know Jesus is real, but if I truly believe that and I truly follow him, like, that means I'm gonna have to change. And he was like, and I don't know if I want that. Like, it was super honest and vulnerable, which I think is great.
Yeah.
But he's like, it means like some of the things I do on my show and some of the things I say, like, I can't do those things anymore if I truly follow him. He's like, I don't know if I want that or not. And he was like being genuine about it. He's like, because following Jesus, like, I can't stay the way I am if I'm going to actually do this thing. And I thought there was just so much power, like, in his vulnerability in that. Like,
yeah,
there's so many Christians who don't ask themselves that question. And he's wrestling with it as somebody who maybe isn't even a professing Christian yet. He's like, if I'm going to do this thing, it means I have to change. And I don't know if I actually want that or not. Because what you said in your journal thing, like, is this going to change? Whatever you said. Like, that's what it made me think of.
Is this actually going to change?
Is this actually going to happen? Like, am I actually going to change, or am I just going to say it?
Yeah, because I think a lot of times we want to have remorse to make it feel like we care.
Yeah.
But if there's no movement, guess what? You don't care.
Yep.
Those aren't my words. Jesus literally says, if you love me, you will obey. That is literally what he says. It's not manipulative. It's causation. If we love Jesus, we obey. You cannot separate the two of those.
Yep.
So if you aren't obeying, I'm just saying, you don't love Jesus. That is not a hot take. That is his words. That's not out of context. Annotate the text. Do whatever you want. That's what Jesus says. And I know that sounds harsh, but it only sounds harsh to people who aren't legit.
And you know what's ironic about is obeying him literally makes your life better.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
because now sometimes it stinks.
There's gonna be
Mhm.
you're gonna have hard times.
Yeah, and
I mean,
also
Nate says it all the time.
Yeah.
Life it's probably gonna get harder for you.
yeah, and
But
you
your
also
joy
feel
is gonna be more.
yeah, you also feel like crap sometimes too, because the more sensitive you want to become to something, the more you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
You know, like the more you want to care about it, the more you're like, dude, what is wrong with me? Like, am I doing something wrong here? You know, like it seems like it's getting worse or it's harder. And
Yeah, I think that part really rings out to me a lot because I feel like in this walk of my faith right now, I've never felt more like garbage than I have probably in the last month, 2 months maybe. And I just feel like every single thought and every single urge that I've had or wrestling in my spirit, it has all been just squishing me. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to say that. Just like I just feel I feel fake all the time. I feel offended all the time. And it's just the season that I'm in. And it's not like a season that has been coming and going for a while. It's just like this is my first time, at least that I can think of, really, really experiencing it, apart from like when I first felt like a call to ministry. You know, then I felt like, well, shoot, if I really feel like God has asked me to do this, then there's plenty of things I need to start shaping up.
Yep.
Well, I've been on this road for 4 years now, you know, shaping up. And now I feel like I've just hit this weird, like a pit that I'm in, and I just can't get out of it. And I have, I wouldn't call it resentment towards people that are further along in their faith than me, but I have just like this just weird, maybe I could call it jealousy. I don't know what to say about it, but I'm really wrestling with a lot of just this grody, just like awful, grimy feeling things. And trying to do that and maintain a role in this church has been very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So yeah, that's just where I'm at right now. But when you said like it's going to feel bad, like
Yeah.
I feel bad all the time.
yeah, and I think that sometimes that means that sometimes even for me, that means that I might be putting the microscope on me, and I need to bask in the grace.
Yeah.
Because God prefers grace. He prefers mercy. Mercy in and of itself is undeserved. Shouldn't be given. But that's who God is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of 2 Corinthians 4. We're pressed on every side by troubles, but we're not crushed. We're perplexed, but not driven to despair. We're hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. And I think that Scripture teaches us in multiple places. Here's one of them, but I think it's to say it's not over. You've got breath in your lungs. It's hard, but it's not done yet.
Yep.
God's got it. He's going to continue to show mercy. It's what he's done. He's gotten you this far. We said it at students Sunday night. I literally said, hey, who has ever thought that, who has ever just been like, man, it's over. I'm screwed. And almost the whole room's right. It's like hands up. I said, how many times have you guys said that? You know, people start laughing literally in the room. Why? We say it all the time.
How many
Here we are
How many
in the
times
room.
has it actually been over?
Exactly. Here we are in the room, not over yet,
Yep.
breathing, alive, in the space, given grace, mercy.
Because God is not done with you.
God's not done. So it's like we have to understand, get up, keep moving forward. God he's giving us a hand. He's pulling us up. He's dusting us off and saying, keep it rolling. Keep going. You know, a lot of times I think people respond to messages and you even could have an opportunity, you know, Pastor Nate or somebody brings the word or maybe even just what I said a few minutes ago sounds a little harsh. It's not meant to put you down and to say you're garbage.
Yep.
Jesus sets a standard and he gives you the ability to rise to it with him, not alone, with him. You know, New Testament teaches us that the whole point of the law was to show us our standard that we couldn't live to point us to Christ's mercy and kindness, to point us to reliance on him. It's a mirror. It's a standard. And it's not to be lessened, but it is to show us our great need. And so the standard is high, but Jesus is the one that gets us to rise to it. And it's not us. It's not by our own works. It's not by our own merit. It's him. And we have to trust him. And so it's that balance of standard, but trusting and, okay, I'm still alive and breathing and I'm not cooked. It's not over. I'm here. And I'm right here and it's going to be okay because he's got me. But you're only going to be comforted by that if you stop putting the emphasis on your performance and start putting it on his presence.
Yep.
And that really, truly, I think is the essence of it. Sorry, I got a little preachy there.
Oh, that's good, man.
But I wanted to
good.
clarify that a little bit. And Nick, also just to speak to that, you're not alone. And people are experiencing that and people are hearing that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
I hear you and I know that. And thanks for sharing that. You're not on your own on that. I bet there's people listening that are right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there
And
with
again,
you.
there's men in your corner
Yeah.
who will surround you in that season.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not throwing in the towel, guys.
That's what we're supposed to.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully not. This would be a bad breakup message. Podcast. We just shoehorn wrapped, and now we're just
No, it's just where I'm at right now.
yeah.
You
And
know,
that's okay.
But it's not about that. It's about having men in your life that are going to walk
Mhm.
with you through that season. And
yeah. I got a group of guys that meet at my house every Tuesday between 4 and 6, and I know that they hold me accountable as well. Josh is one of them. So, yeah.
Shout out Josh, dude.
Yeah, Josh Langdon. Everybody, he
no.
gets his own Chick-fil-A wrap.
Oh no, Chick-fil-A wrap. Oh man.
He's listening, by the way.
Yeah, he is, and I'm not ready. Oh no. Oh,
all right, that's how we start next week.
Ooh, there we go.
A Josh rap.
Josh, you got your very own Chick-fil-A wrap coming next week. Coming
You
next week.
got 7 days to put time into this. It better be good.
Yep. And then we need Katy Perry 2.0.
Oh my god.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
too many.
She does
There's
get another
too many
one.
raps. There's too many raps.
We're going to have to put out an album.
Yeah, there we go.
We have the cover. We have the
Oh,
cover.
yeah, we
album.
do. Yeah,
we
we
got the
do.
album cover.
Oh, dude, you imagine that picture that you showed us of Ben and his team?
Dude,
That's the
that
album
could be
cover.
Aura.
Get a little, what's that little black sticker? This is parental advisory. Put that right on.
Straight out of Avenue.
Parental advisory. Piggy boys are on.
Man.
All right.
Anyway,
that's
well,
good.
there's that.
Yeah, we are out of time for today, but it was a good conversation. Connor, thank you for making time for this.
Yeah,
you're
thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, also for you too, Jesse. You're just an honorary regular now, so I don't know if we need to have a celebration for you or
No,
not. But
we don't.
No.
yeah.
Actually, boo.
How about a Chick-fil-A wrap?
Ooh.
Man, I can't. Oh my gosh, there's too many. There's too many. I have like 4 now in queue.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we can put that on the Avenue merch page. Is the Beyond the Road Chick-fil-A rap album. Yeah, just all the raps.
Student
that Abe
ministry
has done.
fundraiser.
Dude,
Yeah, there
that
we
would be
go, there we
cool.
go.
All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning into today's episode. We hope that it encouraged and challenged you guys. As always, sharing this with some folks this week is one of the best ways that you can support this podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and our Avenue Church app. Commenting, liking, sharing this helps get it out to more and more folks so that we can disciple one person at a time. Have a blessed week, and thank you for going Beyond the Row.